Hello, welcome to this full body Pilates class using just your mat and your body weight. Let's get straight into it with our stretch. So we're going to start lying down today. So coming onto our mat, lying down, and let's hug those knees in towards our chest. I'm just going to rock back and forward. So just peeling that spine away from the mat and then rolling it back down. Rocking ourselves forward and back. And let's rock side to side. Try to massage the back of those hips into your mat. We're relaxing through the shoulders, relaxing through the neck. And let's come back to the center. Right hand is on right knee and left hand is on left knee. Let's hug ourselves up into a ball. Try and have your forehead towards your knees, chin tucked towards the chest, separating between those shoulder blades. Breathing into this stretch. And release. Let's go for one more. Inhale. And then exhale, curl up. C-shaping through the spine. Checking that chin towards the chest and breathing through the back of those ribs and rolling all the way down. Let's keep a hold of that right knee and extend that left leg out long. I'm just going to alternate here. So as we extend one leg, we're going to hug the opposite knee in towards our chest, getting that stretch in the front of the hip. Exhale to stretch. Can we bring our ab curl into it? So we're going to curl up, forehead comes towards our knee, and then we're going to swap. Trying to keep yourself as high as you can through our ab curl. Nice. Squeezing through the waist, hugging the knee in towards the chest. Let's take a couple more here. If you want to go a little bit more challenging, can we bring those hands behind the head? Elbows are nice and wide as we extend one leg and then the other leg out long, alternating here. Can we bring a bit of a twist into it? So we're going to twist our opposite elbow to the outside of our opposite knee, alternating here. Exhale to twist. Making sure here we're twisting through the waist and not through the elbow. So elbows stay nice and wide. Can we go for 8 more? 7, 6, 5, 4 more, 3, 2, last one, and release. Let's gently rock side to side, massaging that spine into the mat. And let's bring those feet down onto the mat, and we'll find our neutral spine position. So neutral spine is where we naturally fall with our spine when we have our feet on the mat, hip distance apart. So you probably have a little gap between your lumbar spine and the mat, or at least you're not pressing hard into the mat with your spine. And your hips and pubic bone will be nice and even. So this is our neutral spine position. Let's rest our arms down by our side and just melt into the mat. We're going to move through our pelvic curl position. So deep inhale through the nose. And then as we exhale, we're going to tuck the pelvis under. Feel your lumbar spine press into the mat, and then we're lifting our hips up and lifting one vertebrae at a time off the mat until we're resting in between those shoulder blades. Let's take a deep inhale at the top and then exhale, we're melting down. So we're rolling down. Feel one vertebrae at a time touching onto the mat all the way down, coming all the way back to our neutral spine position where our tailbone is heavy on the mat. And then we're going to exhale, tuck the pelvis under. We are rolling up, coming just as far as we're in between our shoulder blades. So we're not coming so far that you feel yourself on the base of your neck. Just go a little bit less than that with a nice short distance between the rib and the hip. So we're really tight through the core. And then exhale, we're rolling down. One vertebrae at a time. Can we go 2 more like that? So nice, slow rolls through the spine on the way up. And then melting down all the way back to our neutral spine position. And again, one more, coming all the way up. Our hips are lifted here. Can we peel our toes off? So we're resting on those heels, and then drop the toes down, lift the heels off. So we're rolling through the feet. Nice. Now really try to isolate this movement. So there's no movement in the rest of our body. Our hips are steady. They stay lifted. It's just the feet that we're rolling through. Let's go for 4 more. 3. Starting to feel this through the hamstrings. 2 more. Last one. And let's plant those feet onto the mat. Nice and steady. A little bit of a challenge option here. If you like, you can lift your arms to point up towards the ceiling. If that feels too unsteady for you, just leave the palms on the mat. That is totally fine. So choose your option. From here, we're not going to roll. We're just going to straight tap. So drop the hips, tap the tailbone on the mat, and then a straight lift back up. Beautiful. Let's pulse here. Tap and lift. We're here for 16. Squeezing through the glutes, pressing through the heels. 13. Just make sure you're holding no tension in that head or neck. 12. 11. 10. 9. 8. 7. Starting to feel this through the glutes now. 5. 4 more. 3. On our last one, can we lift those hips up? We're going to hold here. Can we roll to the outside of our feet so our knees come wide, making sure we keep those hips lifted, so you don't want to drop them down, keep them lifted. And then roll back onto the feet, knees come in line with our hips, so rolling out and then coming back. Nice. Can we go for 8? Nice and slow. 7, squeezing into the glutes. 6. 5. 4 more. 3. 2. Last one, knees come in line with our hips. You can press those palms back down onto the mat. Take a deep inhale through the nose and then exhale, melt down 1 vertebrae at a time, all the way back down to our neutral spine position. Let's hug those knees into the chest to reset and just gently rock side to side, massaging our spine into the mat. All right, keep a hold of your right hand on your right knee, left hand on left knee. We're going to hug ourselves up into a ball. So find that ball shape again. Now really focus here on keeping your lumbar spine pressed into the mat. We're going to extend our arms and legs out long. So you're in a bit of a boat position here, like you're a banana. Then you're going to circle those arms around and then hug the knees back in towards our nose. So big stretch out long and then circle and hug. Now if you're finding this too much on the core, just extend your legs and arms a little bit higher. It will take the pressure off. If you want a little bit more, extend them lower. Circle and hug back in. Can we go here for 8? Exhale to circle and hug into your ball. 6. 5. Squeezing through the waist. 4 more. 3. 2. Last one. And release. Rocking side to side, massaging that spine into the mat. Beautiful. All right, let's press those palms into the mat just beside us. And we're going to extend those legs straight up towards the ceiling. Flex the feet and then turn them out. So we've got our Pilates V position, heels together, toes apart. Now try to squeeze your heels together as hard as you can. As we inhale, we're going to bend the knees. Heels come down towards our glutes and then exhale, press them up long. Bend and extend. These are our frog kicks. The harder you squeeze your heels together, the more you will feel this in your inner thighs. Now if you want to make this a little bit harder, see if you can extend those legs a little bit closer down towards the mat. And that's going to bring a little bit more core work into it. Bend and extend, focusing on keeping that lumbar spine pressed into the mat, squeezing those heels together, tension through the glutes. Can we go for 8 more? 7, 6, 5, 4 more, 3. We're going to do pulses at the end. So last one, let's extend those legs out long and then we're going to bend them into our frog position. Can we pulse? Just extend and bend those legs, that last little 2 inches of the frog kick movement. 3, 4, 5. Squeezing those heels together as hard as you can, feeling it in those inner thighs now. Last one. Let's extend those legs all the way out and then bend them back in. Beautiful. Let's take a stretch. So happy baby stretch. Knees are coming out to the side, arms are on the inside of our legs, and then palms reach to the outside of our feet. And then from here, we're just gently rocking side to side, opening up through the hips, massaging our back into the mat. All right, upper body stretch here. See if you can bring the soles of your feet together. If that's not quite there for you today, just hold a little bit higher onto your shins. We're bringing the soles of the feet together, and then we're going to press our feet as hard as we can into our hands and allow that pressure to peel our spine and our head off the mat. Then from here, keep pressing those feet into the hands, allow that separation through the shoulder blades, and then tuck that chin towards the chest, breathing as high as you can into those ribs. Couple of breaths here. If you want to make the stretch a little bit more aggressive, just press those feet a little bit harder into those hands. Last one. And release. Keeping a hold of our right leg, let's extend it up towards the ceiling. And we're going to hold onto our right calf or ankle, whatever feels reachable for you, in our hands. And then just extend our left leg out long. Let's start with our head on the mat. All we're going to do here is pull that leg in towards our chest and then change sides, little pulse to pull in towards our chest. So alternating our leg each time, using that grip to pull the leg a little bit closer in towards our chest. Now you can continue here with this option. If you want to add a little bit more for the core, we can come up into our ab curl, so knee towards our forehead, and then again here we're going to use that pressure on our leg to pull that leg a little bit closer in towards our chest, squeezing through the waist. If that gets a little bit too much on the neck, you can bring one hand behind our head or just go back to that option with our head on the mat. Totally up to you. Whatever your variation is, let's go for 16, 15, 14, 13, pulling that chest as high as we can, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4 more, 3, 2, last one, and release. Well done. Catching our breath here as we just rock side to side. Beautiful. Alrighty, coming into our spinal twist. So our arms are going to come out to the side like a T in line with our shoulders. And you've got two options for your legs. A little bit more of a gentler option, we've got our feet onto the mat, knees and ankles are glued together. A little bit more challenging, we're finding our imprinted spine and lifting those legs into tabletop. So totally up to you whether you want to do feet on the mat or legs in tabletop. I'm going to take a deep inhale through the nose, and as we do, we're going to lower those legs over towards one side. We're going to feel the pressure of our shoulder blades into the mat as we turn our head away from our knees, stretching through that spine. And then exhale, we're going to bring those legs back into our tabletop position and then over to the other side. So this exercise is a little bit for our core, but also quite nice for our spinal flexibility. So we're really getting that nice twist through the spine. And we're using our opposite shoulder blade, pressing into the mat to counterbalance us. If you want a little bit more out of this stretch, see if you can extend that top knee a little bit further over our bottom knee, just to get a little bit further out of that twist. Let's go one more either side. Opening up through that spine. Last one. And we are coming back to the center, holding onto those knees. And let's rock side to side. massaging that spine into the mat. Beautiful. I'm just gonna shuffle myself back a little bit on my mat. We're gonna come back into our position with our feet onto the mat, and we've got our neutral spine position. And we're gonna come into our second set of pelvic curls. So arms are, I think Pino's decided to join us. So palms just rest down by our side, and we're in our neutral spine position. Deep inhale through the nose. Exhale, tuck that pelvis under, lift the hips, and we're rolling up into our pelvic curl position. From here, we're going to ground down through that left foot, especially our heel, and know that you've got your palms there if you need to press into the mat. We're going to lift our right leg into tabletop, and then we're going to step it down, and then swap over to our left. So we're alternating legs here, little marches. We're squeezing into the waist to try and minimize that little rock as we alternate from side to side, lifting it up, pressing it down, and again, pressing it down. Nice, alternating here. Keeping that breath going, squeezing through the waist. Let's go one more, either side, and let's come back to that right leg in tabletop. Can we try a pulse here? So holding that leg where it is, we're going to drop the hips halfway and lift them up, squeezing through that left glute. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4 more, 3, 2. Last one, squeezing into that glute. Let's step that right foot down, left foot comes into tabletop, and we are pulsing. Drop and lift for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4 more, 3, 2, last one. And let's step that foot down. Take a deep inhale through the nose, and then exhale, we are melting down one vertebrae at a time, all the way back to our neutral position. Whew. Alrighty, let's come up to sitting. So hugging onto those knees, rocking ourselves up to sitting. Pino might join us for this one. We're going to come into some chest. So I'm going to sit with my bottom on my heels. If that's not comfortable for you, you can sit cross-legged or just find a comfortable position where you can have a straight spine, whether that's with your legs out in front, it doesn't really matter. Just finding a spot where you can find that engagement through the core. Alrighty, let's relax through the shoulders, squeeze through the waist, and we're going to bring our palms, forearms, and elbows together. Now we want to squeeze those arms together as hard as we can. As we exhale, we're going to squeeze those arms together as we press those fingers as high as we can towards the ceiling, and then inhale, bring them back down. Now you're not going to feel much when we start, but I promise you by the end of it, you will feel this through your arms and through your chest. Nice. Exhale to press. Inhale to come back down. Let's go for 8 more. 7, 6, 5, 4 more. On our last one, can we hold our arms up, squeeze together as high as we can, and we're going to pulse here. So just down that last inch, up an inch for 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 5. On our last one, let's hold our arms just straight in front of us, so that 90-degree angle with our shoulders. We're going to open our elbows and then squeeze them together. 7, 6, 5, 4 more, 3, 2. On our last one, we're squeezing those arms together. One deep inhale here. And then exhale, pressing up. Can we go for one more breath? Inhale. Exhale, squeeze and press. Beautiful. Give those arms a shake. Whew, that one always gets me. Let's come into a stretch, starting off with our arms. So crossing one arm over the other, exhaling into this stretch. And let's swap to the other side. Nice. And our triceps. So one arm over the back, holding onto that elbow. Try to pull that elbow a little bit higher. And then over to the other side. And release. Tucking that chin towards the chest, lengthening through the back of the neck. And chin up towards the ceiling. Ear to one shoulder. And over to the other side. Beautiful. Let's come into our leg stretches and glutes. So coming into our lunge. So we're going to come up on one knee, our other knee is on the mat. We're just going to lunge ourselves forward, making sure here we're not really collapsing into that hip. So we're still nice and lifted through the waist. And we find that back hip pressing forward. Nice. Stretching through the front of the thigh. Now if you want to go a little bit more here, you can try to lift your back heel up towards your glute. You can try to grab onto that with your opposite hand to pull a little bit closer in towards your glute, and that's going to stretch down the front of your thigh. And release. Let's bring our hands to the inside of our right leg, and you can just let that right knee fall out to the side to really open up into those hips. Really exhale into this stretch. If you want to go a little bit more, see if you can come down onto those forearms, just to bring your weight a little bit lower down and bring that stretch a little bit deeper into our glute and hip. Exhaling here. Coming back onto our hands, let's swap to the other side. So stepping our left foot forward, we'll start off with our lunge. So pressing forward with that right hip. Option here to lift that back heel up if you want to. Stretching through the front of the quad. This one is really challenging. So if you have tight quads, you might find this one a little bit tricky, but that's fine. And release. I almost lost my balance. Let's come forward now onto our hands, opening that left knee out to the side, really opening into that hip. And let's come down onto those forearms. Exhaling into this stretch. Try to release any tension you're holding through the hips. One more breath here. Let's bring that left leg back, and we're going to come to lie on our front. Hands are coming underneath our shoulders. Hug those elbows into the ribs. Take a deep inhale. And then as we exhale, we're going to lift up. Chest is open. And let's turn that head to the right. And to the left. And can we lift that right hip up as we look down towards the toes? And then swapping over to the other side. Coming back to the center. Let's press ourselves back. Coming into our child's pose, so bottom towards heels. Just resting that forehead on the mat. You can come up onto those fingertips if you want to just sink a little bit deeper into that shoulder stretch. Expanding through the ribs. Exhaling into this pose. And let's walk the hands around to one side like you want to make yourself into a small C-shaped position. Exhaling into this stretch. And let's walk them around to the other side. And find your exhale here. And let's come back to the center and bring ourselves up to a seated position. Slowing that breath down, taking some big rolls of those shoulders as we inhale through the nose. And exhale through the mouth. Let's do one more breath here. Inhale through the nose. And exhale through the mouth. And we are all done. Well done, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. As always, like this video if you did like it. Leave me a comment. Tell me what you want to see in the next video. And don't forget to subscribe.